In this video, I'm going to go over the neck hump muscle and how to fix it and your posture. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, I'm going to go over what I like to call the neck hump muscles, the main muscles associated with the formation of the dreaded neck hump, commonly known as a dowager's or buffalo hump. What usually causes this is a combination of poor posture, tight chest muscles, and weak upper back muscles. To make it really simple to fix, I broke the video up into two separate parts that are going to help lengthen and strengthen these main muscles where it is needed the most. While both parts are different, they are meant to work together. To get the best results, use all the exercises. With that being said, let's get started. So the first thing that we need to do is focus on releasing tight chest muscles, including the pectoralis. When these muscles become tight, they draw us forward, creating a rounded upper back and shoulder posture. Here's a really easy exercise that can help that only requires the corner of a wall. So let's start facing it and get pretty close to it. You're going to put your arms up and off to the side, so your arms roughly look like they're in a Y position. Put your palms right on the wall. Now what you want to do is lean your body weight forward, pressing your chest towards the corner of that wall. As you do this, you're going to feel a deep stretch form in between your shoulder blades, but more importantly, across your chest. Once you feel it in your chest, hold this comfortably for 20 to 30 seconds. And during that time period, just do nice, slow, controlled breathing. Let out as much tension as you can. You're going to release it, take a breather. On the next repetition, we're going to slide our hands downward and have our elbows bent roughly at 90 degrees. I always call this one the field goal, and then we're going to repeat, pressing our chest towards the corner of the wall. You're going to notice it hits the chest muscles a little bit differently. What we're going to do from there is then slide our hands further down the wall to the point where our elbows are tucked towards our sides. So our arms should look like they're roughly in a W position. And at that point, we're going to repeat. You want to go through all of these positions at least 3 times. But when you do this, you're probably going to notice that one certain position, like for the field goal right here, it just hits my tightness the most. At that point, I throw more repetitions in until everything is nice and loose. And if you do have one side that feels like it's a little bit more tight than the other, you can focus on one arm at a time using all of your body weight on that side to get a deeper stretch. So after we're done stretching our chest, we're now going to focus on releasing tight upper back muscles, including the upper trapezius and levator scapula. When these muscles become tight, they round our upper back and cause forward head posture, leading to that neck hump. Here's a really easy exercise that's going to target all of these muscles that you can do standing or seated. The first movement is going to target the upper trapezius. What you're going to do is take one arm, doesn't matter which side because we're going to do this on both, and have your elbow bent at 90 degrees. What you're going to do is slide that arm across your lower back as much as you can until you feel a really good stretch form in your upper back, working into your shoulder, into your neck. We're going to hold this and now take the hand on the other side and hook the side of our head. Now slowly pull your ear towards the other side shoulder. This time around, that stretch is going to be felt a little bit more into the neck, so build into this one as much as you can. Once you feel it in the neck, we're really going to take this one to the next level by holding this position and slowly turning to look upward towards the ceiling. So I'm rotating my head and chin upward like this. It's going to quickly deepen this stretch. Once you feel that, you now want to hold this position for 15 to 20 seconds. You're going to relax and then repeat this 2 to 3 times. And with each repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more. And then you're going to switch sides and repeat to help keep everything in balance. The next movement is going to target the levator scapula muscle with a movement fittingly called the armpit sniffer. So for this one, I'm going to slowly turn my head towards one side shoulder as much as I can until I feel a really good stretch form in the neck on the other side. We're going to hold this position and now take the hand on the other side, hook the back of our head, and slowly pull our chin down towards that other side's armpit. This time around, you're going to feel a deep stretch form on the top of your shoulder blade, working upward into your neck towards the back of your ear. Once you feel that, hold this for 15 to 20 seconds, release it, and then repeat this 2 to 3 times, and then switch towards the other side and repeat to help keep everything in balance. The last movement actually is going to target a neck muscle, but it really helps work with those upper back muscles, so I don't want to skip it. It's called the sternocleidomastoid, or SCM. Huge postural muscle in the neck, because when this becomes tight, it can definitely lead to that forward head posture and a neck hump. What I'm going to do is a movement very similar to that armpit sniffer. So I'm going to slowly turn my head towards one side shoulder as much as I can, but instead of taking my chin down, what I'm going to do instead is lean my head backward. I always tell everybody, treat your shoulder like a cliff that your ear and head fall off of. So just press your head backward like this. You should feel a deep stretch form from the base of the skull working across the front of your neck towards your collarbone. Once you feel that, hold this comfortably for 15 to 20 seconds, relax, repeat 2 to 3 times, and then you're just going to repeat on the other side to keep everything in balance. But with all of these movements, you're probably going to find that one just really targets tightness the most. Maybe it's building into the armpit sniffer like this. At that point, treat it like your weak link and keep throwing repetitions in until everything is nice and loose. In the second part, we're going to focus on strengthening weak muscles to help correct and maintain our posture and fix that neck hump. Let's start by targeting the lower trapezius muscle with a really good exercise called the wall angel. We're going to start facing a smooth wall. Get really close to it to the point where your chest is flush against it. You're going to take your hands, put them right on the wall, palms facing the wall too, and just slide your hands upward towards the ceiling as much as you can. What you want to do is shrug your shoulders up a little bit, get the muscles in the upper back and neck firing, and then lift your hands off the wall as much as you can. What you're going to do is hold this position and now mimic doing a snow angel on the ground. So you're just going to bring them down towards your side like this, creating a nice big arc. Go all the way down and then go all the way back up like this. Put your hands back on the wall and take a breather. But I like to do this whole movement about 5 times, and with each repetition just building into it a little bit more. Afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like it's helping out and you have a little bit more energy, always challenge yourself by throwing in another set or 2. Another variation that you can do is called the field goal angel. So what we're going to do is put our elbows at 90 degrees and just wing our elbows backward as much as we can. What you want to do is pinch your shoulder blades and feel a little bit of a stretch in your chest. At this point, you're going to hold it and now reach upward towards the ceiling as much as you can. Hold this for a brief second, bring your elbows towards your side, and just do this one nice and slowly for 5 repetitions. Go through both of those movements. You may find that one just helps you out a little bit more, and just keep building into it over and over again. With this strengthening exercise, we're going to focus on the neck postural muscles, including the ones that become weak that lead to a forward head posture. This exercise is called the turtle, and you can do it standing or seated. The first thing that you're going to do is put your arms off to your side, palms facing forward. Now press your hands backward as much as you can until you feel a really good stretch form in your chest, but it should start to feel like your shoulder blades are starting to pinch. Once you feel that, hold this and now stick your head straight forward, kind of like a turtle sticking its head out of a shell. You should feel a deep activation of the muscles right here over the front of your neck. You're going to hold this and now slowly look upward towards the ceiling as much as you can. When you can't go any further, the last movement is slowly pressing the back of your head towards your upper back and shoulders. You should feel a deep activation of the muscles right here at the base of your neck, the area where a neck hump would form. Hold this for 5 seconds, relax, take a breather. On the next repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more for 5 to 10 repetitions. But afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like you have a little bit more energy, always challenge yourself by throwing in another set or 2. So now we're going to focus on strengthening weak rhomboid muscles. The rhomboids are essential for maintaining proper upper back and shoulder blade posture. Here's a really good exercise called the shoulder blade pump. We're going to start on our stomach, lying on a floor, but you can also do this one at the edge of a bed. What we want to do is put our arms off to our side with our palms facing towards the ceiling. Start off by just tucking your chin towards your chest to the point where you have a double chin, and just slightly press your head upward towards the ceiling until it feels like there's a really good activation of the muscles in the neck. We're going to hold this and now take our hands and press them straight up towards the ceiling as much as we can. Keep building into this one until you feel a deep activation of the muscles around the shoulder blades. Hold this comfortably for 5 seconds, relax, take a breather. On the next repetition, try to build into it just a little bit more for 5 to 10 repetitions. But afterwards, see how you feel. If it feels like you have a little bit more energy, always challenge yourself by throwing in another set or two. So to take this one to the next level and strengthen the rhomboids a little bit more, we can throw in two other positions. The first being the T. It's pretty similar. So this time around, I'm going to have my arms off to my side, so my body roughly looks like it's in a T. But let's do a hitchhiker sign. So let's make a fist and have our thumbs pointed towards the ceiling. Let's press our head straight up like this, and now lift our hands upward towards the ceiling. This time around though, really try to pinch your shoulder blades as much as you can. You're going to feel a deep activation of the muscles on the inner part of your shoulder blades towards your spine. That's really targeting the rhomboids. 5-second hold, relax. What you can also do is the Y. So this one's really similar too. What we're going to do instead is just put our arms off to our side like this so our body looks like it's in a Y, and then just lift our thumbs towards the ceiling. I would go through all of these movements. Try to throw in at least 5 repetitions. But if you do notice that one position just feels like it's a little bit more weak or challenging, at that point, treat it like your weak link and throw more repetitions in until it feels like you got a really good workout. If the exercises help, please support the channel by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.